Just texted him.
Let's do the podcast. And
yeah, let's do it because
for Omar's sake and my sake. Let's rest up. You need to sleep tonight. All right.
Yeah, you guys need to sleep.
We need to. I'm going to just. All right.
Get some rest.
All right, count me down and let's get this party started.
All right, let's do it. Oh, great. All right,
get that all out.
Oh, jeez.
I'll put it on mute like Cop, I promise.
This is hard to count down. Oh, God. It's like the phlegm is, I get stereo phlegm. You don't have to put it on mute. It's actually kind of entertaining. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FTS podcast, Friends Talking Shop.
The COVID edition.
The COVID edition is right. It's not only the COVID edition, this is a special edition. Unlike Omar's dates, we've just turned 30. We are at episode 30.
That's a good line, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
I like that.
I just thought of it. But we're a little under the weather.
Not
Omar,
me.
Josh, you've recovered. You've shown that you can recover from this pandemic.
I've demonstrated that. Yes.
And you're 100% back.
I'm a beacon of light.
Fighting strength here. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fighting what I'm afraid is COVID. Omar is in denial. He's probably also fighting COVID.
But this is round 2 for you, right, Dave? The round 2. You've had COVID before.
I have. I had it in May, and then I went to New York. I went to London. I didn't get the booster, and I don't think I escaped it. So, but we'll survive. I have beat it once. I'm sure I'll do it again. But I'm your host, Dave, and I am back in St. Louis from all my trips and trying to recover from all of that. I'd like to welcome second host, who you've heard from already, is Josh. Josh, how you doing?
Listen, unlike you two schmoes, I couldn't be better. I feel great. It's a fantastic time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. My Eagles are 6-0. My Phillies are about to kick off the NLCS tonight, and it's feeling good. I'm gonna real quick. I don't. Are you watching any of the baseball playoffs? Either of you?
No, I'm wearing a Yankees hat, and I think they're playing right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're playing their game 5 tonight. Yeah.
Oh, is it tonight, or I thought it was during the day? But,
no, it's tonight, and then the winner has to turn around and play Houston tomorrow. They got to fly to Houston tomorrow. They're going to be a mess, whoever it is. But so if you haven't seen it, there's a new stat that they have called exit velocity. Did you see that yet?
Is that how far the ball leaves the stadium?
How fast? Yeah. So it's like the ball, it's hit. And
there's all these new stats now,
right?
Wins above replacement, all this kind of stuff. But launch angle and exit velocity is another.
But exit velocity has to be the dumbest stat ever, right? I mean, it's, who the hell cares? What does it matter of the miles per hour the ball gets at? Why does that make any difference whatsoever? I like it, how far they hit the home run. That's interesting because it could be a monster shot. But if it goes out of the park, what's the difference? What am I missing?
It's well, that's a good question. I mean, I guess if
anyone
it's
care
slightly slower and it goes out, I mean,
exit velocity.
If your exit velocity is very good, but you're hitting a lot of fly balls, I suppose.
Well, no, because there's walls, right? There's a scenario where if you hit the ball really hard and it's a home run, it could travel farther.
So what?
2 home runs. Counts 2.
Who cares? Who cares about the exit velocity? I don't know who actually wants this stat. Who says, hey, did you see Aaron Judge last night? He hit one at 105 exit velocity out of the park.
Well,
no one says that.
Let me say you have 2 batters. One is batting 250. The other's batting 250. But the other's exit velocity on average is better.
Who cares?
You could say they're hitting the ball. They have a much higher upside than someone who.
By the way, speaking of
maybe
the Yankees just hit a home run, and it said their exit velocity was 7,000 miles per hour.
Now that is a stat right here.
That's
7,000. That's impressive. Did that go through someone's chest? The ball?
Exactly, blew up someone's chest.
That would be amazing. I'd pay to see that.
It killed 3 people in the stands.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question.
Right,
I don't understand there's a bunch of stats. We could come back to this sometime because Some of these others are kind of freaky. I don't understand it, but
yeah. Well,
anyway, your comment about being a Philly fan right now. I went to London. I figured out what we call you Philly fans. What's a good word for you?
Yeah.
Dickheads.
You're a wanker.
Why?
Oh,
You're
wanker.
a wanker. And I know
Oh my God.
the hand gesture for it too, which I'll.
Yes,
By the
I'm
way,
aware of the
speaking
hand gesture.
Speaking of, I learned a term. I too was in Europe, and I learned a term out there. It's called posh wank.
Posh wank, like Posh Spice?
Do you know what posh wank means?
No.
This is crazy. Posh wank means when a discerning gentleman, right?
Yes.
Instead of using, when he wants to pleasure himself,
Right.
he uses a condom.
Get the hell out of here.
Listen to me. I'm serious.
And there's a term for that?
And he uses the condom. That's what he puts over, his organ.
Yeah, I know. We know where to put it.
And when he's finished, it's just clean and throws it away. That's called a posh wank. It is a real term in the UK.
Come on.
It's a classy way of masturbating.
Listen, when that in a classy way. Does his pinky up too the whole time?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's a real term.
Oh
Come
my
on.
gosh.
Come on.
How did that come up in conversation?
My hand to God, it's a real thing.
When that gets in Webster's, I'll believe it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. All right. And now we've heard from our second host, Omar. Tell us in detail, how are you feeling right now? What are your symptoms? And where are you right now?
You're on mute, Omar. You're still on mute. This is a train wreck already.
For the record,
there we go.
I just Googled posh wank. An act of male masturbation with a condom placed over the penis.
I know that's what you told us. What you
I'm
didn't
saying
have to
it's a real term. It's legitimate.
Well, just because it's on Google doesn't make it legit. I can Google anything; it comes up.
So I'm doing terribly. The Ravens suck. They can't hold a lead.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't have a conversation without coughing. And I realized that I'm not as tough as I thought I was. That's probably the most depressing part of it all. I can't handle pain. I can't handle any kind of adversity. And I tell people all the time that being an entrepreneur means embracing failure. And I don't want to embrace failure.
Nobody wants to embrace failure.
But I'm saying I'm saying my life's a fraud. I can't handle difficulty.
Oh, geez.
Wow,
this is getting
to a
deep.
dark place. Yeah.
When things
Oh my
get tough,
God.
you know what I want to do? I want to have a posh wank and then go to bed.
Wow. You're like you got to listen to that Billy Ocean song.
You're a lot tougher than I thought. If you can posh wank, that's.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I mean, that was very depressing.
Well, listen, I'm keeping it real over here.
All right.
It's not all bubble gum and rainbows over.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right. Okay.
Let's kick this off. Episode 30. It's take us 30th episode to get.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Let me first do the kick off the podcast here. I have a little bit of brain fog myself, so work with me here. Josh, how are you? Oh, we covered that.
Yeah, we did that.
How
We
are
did that.
you? Okay,
we did
so
that part. Yep.
This is a podcast where the three of us bust our chops. Apparently, should we come back to that, or should we talk about that now?
Yeah, well, we can give people a little sneak preview at the end, I guess.
All right. Well, all right. Well, that is another tease for you. We have.
Yes.
We're going national in a way, but we'll come back to that in a second. So we're a podcast where three guys who have no business with having a podcast have a podcast. We come together. We talk about three topics that we've not prepared ahead of time, and we talk about it, and we bust each other's chops over the. And if you would like to participate in this meaningless podcast, you can email us. Our email address is friends@fts.media. It's friends@fts.media. That's all that is. All right, so let's kick off. I think I hit all the particulars as we say them.
You did, and I'll do a quick kudos to you two, by the way. I know it's been a big lull since our last episode, and you could have easily canceled on this one considering how you both feel, but the listeners want another episode. So
all right, well, we're here to give it to them.
I applaud the two of you.
Well, you'll get what you. Be careful what you wish for, I guess.
Yeah.
Since you feel the healthiest, Josh, do you want to, or Omar, do you want to go first since you can get out of the way? Is that how do you want to sit back
before he passes out?
Yeah, maybe
You
it
know,
was that.
I never go first. So this
Why
is
don't you go
actually,
first?
All right, go first. Go first.
Go first.
So yeah, so I was
And you know
at
why you never go first, by the way?
why?
You know
Usually not
why,
sitting
right?
at the microphone when we're at this
Well,
point.
it's that, or we want to give you a lot more time to think about what the hell you're going to actually come up with. You know, you order last at the restaurant. We tell the waitress goes to you last.
You know, actually, I want to go last as well.
What a power move!
Yeah.
What a power move!
This is
Josh, why don't you go?
All right, Josh, you're first.
All right, I got a little story for you about what happened to me this weekend. So I don't know if there's anything to solve here. There's a couple things, just little things here and there to solve, but I want to fill you in on what happened. So Thursday, I get up for work, taking a shower, and I hear this is, by the way, sounds like a story I told previously, but it's not. It's
Dave, do you think Josh
same
uses like body soap or a bar?
I can tell you what I use. You can just ask.
Well, let me guess. It's a good question.
Go ahead.
I hate the body soap. The liquid,
I hate it too.
I can't get it. And in fact, when I was at the Airbnb I was just at, I had 2 days left. I went and bought a bar of soap because I can't get clean with the liquid soap.
Yep.
But I'm guessing Josh is a body soap guy.
Yep, I agree.
With a squeegee thing. You got the scrunchie, I bet.
Okay, you guys cannot be further from correct. I am a bar soap and bar soap only.
Okay.
Yes, I like bar soap. I like I don't feel like I'm clean using body wash.
For sure. So we're all in agreement with bar soap?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, 100% bar soap. So I'm taking a shower. I hear my wife screaming, "Stop the shower! Get out of the shower!" Going, what the hell is going on here? And I still had the conditioner in my hair, and I'm like, I gotta get this out for you. You can't walk out of the shower with a conditioner in your hair.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Josh
I use conditioner.
Conditioner.
Yeah, I use conditioner. You don't use conditioner?
But Josh, have you seen my
Your hair is really short.
Josh,
Yeah, now it is. I buzzed it.
It's like you're in Saving Private Ryan or Platoon. What are you?
I buzzed my hair. Yeah.
Whoa. Be careful, Chris Rock, with that joke.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
make an alopecia joke.
Too close. Yeah.
No. So I rinse it off real quick, and I grab my towel, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Apparently, as I was showering, the water in the kitchen sink was rising. And so we had a plumbing problem, right? And she's like, oh my God, and it stinks. Like, all right, the kitchen stunk. So I get dressed, I go down, I'm like, oh my God, look at this. I get a plunger, nothing. Nothing's happening. The garbage disposal kind of goes on, but it like bubbles up and it's gross. And now it's like almost pouring over the top. And so we get a bucket. Go ahead.
How
Emily.
often do you use the plunger and it actually works? It's a nice feeling when it works.
In the toilet every time.
It's such a great feeling when it actually does.
Yes, it's awesome.
Especially
Gross.
at someone else's house.
That was actually not to deviate from my story, but the second date I ever went on with my wife when we were obviously just dating, we went to a party and I had to go to the bed. I had no choice, and I was at a stranger's house, and I go upstairs. It was the only bathroom. And I clogged it.
Oh my God.
I clogged it. And it started coming up. And I'm like, oh my God. And there was no plunger in there, nothing. I couldn't stop it. And I remember my dad always told me, turn off the water at the bottom if that ever happens. And I go down to the bottom and I turn off the water, and it stopped right at the rim. And then I was peeking out the door to make sure no one was there. And I get out and I go downstairs and I go, we got to go. And we had been there maybe half an hour. And I was like, what do you mean we got to go? I said, no, we got to go. We got to go right now.
You tell her?
I don't feel well. She's like, you don't feel well? I'm like, I don't feel well. But no, of course I didn't tell her. It's our second date.
Does she know now?
Now of course.
I mean,
yeah.
After this podcast or before?
No. She a while ago. I told her a while ago. I'm like, you remember that
friends
date?
with this person?
I know them. I mean, I really don't talk to them, but
was this a double decker or what? I'm confused.
No, I didn't. You mean an upper decker?
Upper decker.
No, you know what an upper decker is.
I don't know what an upper decker is.
You don't know what an upper decker is, Dave? That's when you shit.
There's all kinds of phrases.
Yes, there is. That's when you take off the back of the bowl, you know, that thing, and you shit in there. It's a prank. You're not supposed to do that. That's not.
Yeah.
The plumbing's not made for that.
Supposed to do that.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. It's frowned upon.
Oh, thank you for telling me that part.
Yeah, that's called an upper decker. Now this was just a nightmare. Anyway, so I get a bucket. We start getting a lot of the water out, just so it was more.
You're back to your house, not the party, right?
Yeah, no. The party was years ago.
All right.
This is Thursday. Call a plumber. Okay, the guy's like, oh yeah, we'll get someone out there this afternoon. I'm like, okay, great. Guy comes out around 2:00 in the afternoon. Okay, nice guy. He's been to our house before. I kind of, I recognize him. He's like, oh yeah, hi, how are you guys doing? And so he starts working on it. He's like, okay. He goes outside. He's checking something outside. He comes back in and goes, okay, I think you have a major clog here, and I think I'm judging. And he asks us a bunch of questions, and he goes, I think it's wipes. Do you guys use wipes? I'm like, yeah, I use wipes. And my son uses wipes. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you can't use wipes. You're not supposed to use them. And you have a septic. You can't use them. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been using them for 6 years here. And I even got this special, like.
You can't go back.
No.
You can't go back.
No. And I even got like for septic, I got like it's like a little looks like a little pill, and you put it down your toilet like once a month, and it's supposed to like dissolve everything and make everything go away. So I thought that was working really well. We hadn't had any problems with wipes. The guy's like, well, here's what I got to do. I have to go all the way upstairs, and I got to take your toilet off, and I basically have to do this industrial snaking down beneath your kitchen, because the disturbance is beneath your kitchen, obviously, and that's why it's all coming up your sink. And I tell you, our sink smelled like shit. It smelled terrible. It was awful. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Do what you've got to do. He's like, all right, here's what it's going to cost. He's like, and he's showing me, it's like $970. I'm like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Listen, there's no price high enough that you would.
That's right.
That.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So he goes, here's the problem though, is like, I don't have the big tool I need, this industrial whatever. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, you can't use anything on this side of the house. He's like, he's telling us, don't use anything. Thankfully, you have two sides on your drainage, and so just use the other side. So at least we had a bathroom available to us, but we obviously couldn't use our kitchen sink. It was filled with shit. Not literally, but it smelled like shit. So he comes back the next day. He takes off the toilet, and he's up there, and it's just loud as shit. Like the whole house is reverberating because he's putting this giant whatever the hell thing down there. He's there, no exaggeration, till about 7:30. So he's there for like 5.5 hours. Came back again at like, I can't remember what time it was. No, the next day, I'm sorry. Next day he came back at like 11. He was there to like 5, whatever. He was there for like, can you hear me?
5.5 hours.
Yeah, he was there for a long time. And he was, go ahead.
Remember the Christmas story when the father goes down to work the furnace and he's swearing and clanking and like there's
Yes.
that's how I'm picturing the sounds coming out of your
That's
bathroom.
what it sounded like, Dave. That's what it sounded like. And he's there forever, and he's just snaking the thing, and he had a camera, and then finally I'm like, what the hell is he doing? I'm like, what is going on? So I go up to my bathroom, I'm like, hey, and I don't want to use his name. I'm like, hey, what's going on? How's it coming? He goes, well, I don't think it's wipes. I'm like, oh, okay, great. He goes,
Yes.
yep. Yeah, I'm right. I was so relieved. I go, but the problem, I missed the crucial thing. When he told us it was wipes, my wife immediately goes, no more wipes. I told you this was going to happen.
Oh my God, that's the worst. I told you.
I told you this was going to happen.
God, I told you.
You
But I mean,
use
do you
those
guys ever-
wipes.
Oh wait, do you guys ever use that phrase? I told you. I never use it.
You
I
don't
never
use
use
I
it.
told you so? Of course.
No, because
That's
it's
the greatest
so obnoxious
phrase.
to say those words.
Yeah, but
I told you
it
so.
feels so good to say
What,
it.
he's 7 years old. Who uses those phrases? Have
Mm.
you used that phrase recently?
It's rough on a marriage, that's for sure.
Recently, I don't know. Yeah, you got to get
Yeah,
married. You'll hear it
you
quite a
guys are
bit.
married. That's why you're hearing that nonsense.
Yeah. You're not. Yeah.
You don't
Get
think
yourself-
Josh deserves that though? Like,
No.
How many
Because- no,
times does he have a bad idea? His wife probably says don't do that.
Well, here's why I don't think he deserves it. Because I don't think that Josh uses it as often as he could with his wife as she does with him.
Ooh, interesting.
Is that true, Josh?
I bite my tongue. You pick your battles.
Yeah, that's my point.
But
Wait,
anyway,
did she use those words? I told you so.
yeah, I think something to that effect. She was very adamant, like this day was coming. The reckoning was coming, and now we're paying the price because you use those wipes. And what she did, she actually went around, collected all the wipes in all our bathrooms.
Oh boy.
Yes. So there were no more wipes, and I'm like, I
Was
cannot
she
go back.
playing like Mussolini music?
No.
You know what I mean?
But do you know what I did, Omar? Do you know what I did when that guy said no more wipes, and my wife said, all right, no more wipes. I'm collecting all the wipes. I immediately went on Amazon and bought a bidet.
Yeah, that was going to
Oh,
be
the
my
Toto.
answer.
The Toto.
Yeah.
No, not the Toto. Toto's ridiculously expensive. I didn't want to replace my toilet. I bought like a bidet seat so I can take the seat
Oh,
off
Toto,
that I
but Toto
currently have.
makes your seats too.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this I wanted to. I have an American Standard, so I got an American Standard bidet.
Okay.
I wanted to match and be.
That's also a life changer as well.
Yeah, so I got that. I'm like, okay, good. I'll order that because I can't do paper. I mean, that's disgusting. What are we going to go back to caveman days, just using paper? That's
Use your left
gross.
hand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I just put some fig leaves in a bowl, and I'll use those when I have an urge.
That's right.
So the guy, I go up to check out what's going on. He goes, look, I got to show you something. It's not wipes. It's worse. And he puts a camera. He's got like one of those camera things down there. Yeah. It's grease. It's lumps and lumps of grease. And he's like, I keep putting the snake down there and it doesn't push the grease out. It just moves it around. And so nothing's draining because the grease keeps clogging it. And I can't
Grease
move the
from
grease.
what?
So when I don't know what you guys do, but we
You
learned.
fry bacon?
Yeah. You're not supposed to put grease down the
I know
drain.
that.
We
You don't pour bacon grease into the sink.
We do.
Yeah. No, you don't. Even I know that.
We do that. We put everything down there.
No, you put it. You have like a can or something. You pour it in the can and then you toss it.
Yeah,
Solidifies.
listen. We're learning that now, Dave. Several thousand
How do
dollars
you
later.
not know
but-
this?
I told
How
you
does
so.
your wife Not know this.
You know why? Because I grew up. My father taught me, instilled in me that you put everything down the garbage disposal. This man, my dad, puts chicken bones down the garbage disposal.
What?
Yes. And he buys like an industrial one and it just gobbles it up. Now,
That's
I
different.
won't do that
grease,
with
though.
mine.
But which
He
that's which in a city sewer? I guess that might like that. It's someone
He
else's.
just puts
problem.
everything down the garbage
Like a
disposal.
septic is
Well,
different,
septic,
right?
yeah, it is different. It is different. So we learned that the hard way. There's grease. Now here's the worst part. He goes, look, I can't fix it. You're going to need these other guys because they need to do a jetter. And I said to him, I go, wait a second. If it's grease.
Wait, doesn't he pay for the Yankees?
That's a jeter. Yeah. And you can't put a jeter down your drain.
He made that up.
He
sees dollar signs right now.
Yeah.
He's like, you need a jetter.
Well, so he goes, you need a jetter, like where you go up and you just put this heavy duty like jet spray down and it blows it all out of there. And I said to him, I go, I must have said something that was just awful for plumbers. And I'm wondering if you have this same scenario. I said, isn't there a solvent that dissolves grease? I mean, there's degreasers. Why can't we just put a solvent down there, like Drano or something? And it's like, you say Drano to a plumber, and it's like, oh my God. It's like the biggest thing the worst thing you can say to a plumber.
Why?
They hate Drano. They hate liquid plumber.
Put them out of business.
They hate, because their whole job is in a bottle. I mean, imagine if your job could be, I could just get a plastic bottle and replace you.
Wait, hold on. First of all, that's not that far-fetched. But number two,
a few answers,
would Drano have solved your problem?
No, but I'm going to get to that in a second. So he's like, oh, you should never put that stuff down your drain. That's what every plumber ever said. All say it. Don't ever use liquid plumber. Don't put that stuff down. It's like you're telling them it's the worst thing you can say to a plumber for some reason. So anyway, I'm like, what about us? He's like, I don't think that's going to work. You need a jetter. I'm like, okay, well, do you have a jetter? He's like, no, I can't do that. We don't have that. You're going to have to call these guys. And he tells me a name of these other guys. I'm like, I have to call. I'm like, are you kidding me? My toilet's off. And he goes, I'm just going to keep your toilet off because they're going to need, obviously, to go to use this spot to do the jetter. I'm like, I can't be living like this. This is this is crazy. This is going on 3 days. So I'm like, on a whim, I just call them, right? And they're like, oh yeah, we can get someone out to you in half an hour.
Oh. I
said, oh my God, that's great. And this was like Friday night. I'm trying to watch the Phillies, and this is all going on while the game's going on. It's ridiculous. So I call them. The guy comes in half an hour. It was amazing, right? The plumber is still there. Now it's like that scene from Mr. Mom when all the all the people keep coming to the house at the
I
same
love
time.
that.
Oh, that's
So
a
much.
oldie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
So the guy comes down. The plumber who I originally called is such a nice guy. He goes, I'm going to stick around and tell him what's going on here, and I'm going to give him the scoop. So because I'm I've been working on it. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's great. I really appreciate that. So he does. He walks him through it. Blah blah blah. And then he goes, I'm going to leave the toilet off for you. And the other guy goes, no, you don't need the toilet off. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to try to tackle it at the source. So I'm like, can you put the toilet back on? He goes, yeah. Now he's been there 7 hours. He's like, yeah, I'll put it back on. I'm like, great. And it's like 9 at night, whatever it is. And so he goes up to do that. The other guy, now here's a big pet peeve of mine. So the guy says, the new guy, the jetter guy, he goes, and tell me if you get this and what you would do. He goes, so look, everybody from my company would automatically do the jetter first. And that's going to cost you $1,500. And I have to get on your roof to do the jetter. I'm like, I don't even know how that, that's what he told me. I'm like, I don't even know how that works. Is there a pipe from my plumbing that goes to my roof? I don't.
What kind
of
people are you dealing with here? Yeah.
I don't know. But that's what he said. And he goes, but look, I'm going to do something that no one else will do. He goes, I'm going to try the cheaper way to fix your problem first. Most people would just go right to the jetter and charge you $1,500. I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you. But that is such a shit move, don't you think? I mean, isn't he just angling for a tip? Isn't that what he's doing? Like, come on.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about how you tip these people, especially the guy that was there for 7 hours. Anyway, I don't know. I
don't think so.
That's ridiculous. Like he's doing me some amazing favor. I mean, dude, your job is to figure out how to do it at the most cost-effective and efficient way.
Isn't to climb? He's not Spider-Man. His job isn't to climb roofs.
What are you talking about?
That's right. He could have been like he didn't want to do it at that point. Like he wanted to do it the cheaper way because it might have been quicker. So you might have been selfish.
Let me ask you something, Josh.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you have blinders on, right? like what if the guy had said, you know what, I'm just going to go home.
But he's not going to do that.
Why not?
He's going to go home. He can't go home. I hired him.
He can just say, I can't get it done. Here's your money back. I'll see you later.
That's possible.
Yeah, and then what would you do? I'll pay you double to stay.
No, I'd have to call somebody else. I wouldn't want this guy if he did that. If he pulled that move.
My point is, it would put you up Schitt's Creek, so to speak.
Yeah, that's where I was. I was living up Schitt's Creek. That was inherently the problem.
But my reaction would be, I don't know if I want you to do it the cheaper way. I mean, because he could explain, what did that mean? I'm going to go.
This is what he said. He goes, instead of getting on the roof and jetting down your whole plumbing system with this high-powered whatever the hell
There's no roof in plumbing.
It's what he said. It's what he said. It's what he said.
Gutters or something?
I'm telling you what he said. Not my gutters. I don't know what the hell's up there that leads to my friggin' shit pipes. I don't know what
sounds suspicious.
It's crazy. Because I'm going to go to the kitchen sink, and what I'm going to try to do is suck out the grease, if I can see it right there. I'm going to take out the trap, underneath the sink, and I'm going to try to snake it from there. I'm like, oh, okay. And he was doing that, and he sucks up the grease, and he goes, and now what I think is going to work is, and he goes, let me go to my truck. You know what he goes and gets?
Drano.
Basically Drano.
I was going to guess a Yogi Berra.
Basically Drano. He got a solvent. He goes, this is a grease solvent. I'm like, are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? It's what I said 4 hours ago. Why don't we just get a grease solvent? Something that degreases. And he puts it down there, puts a whole bottle down there. He goes, normally you only need a cup. He had to use a whole bottle. Finally gets it going. It all unclogs and gets through, and then everything's fine.
All it took was that?
Yes, that's my point.
Was the other moron there sitting there looking sheepish?
No. So the other, I didn't tell you this. I missed the part. That's part of the that's key to the story. The other guy, while the new guy's working on it and doing the quote unquote cheap way, this guy comes over to me and goes, look, I'm going to give you my cell phone. I want you to text me and let me know how this goes. I want to know if he's able to do it. And then if you have any questions or follow-up or whatever, don't be afraid to text me.
Oh, nice guy.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, who does that? That's really, really nice. So I gave him a nice tip. I said, thank you so much. Took his cell phone number. Well, the guy cleared it. That night, I write him a text. I'm like, okay. In between innings, I go, hey, just wanted to let you know this guy did it. He used a solvent, which is what I said hours ago, and it cleared it all up, blah, blah, blah. Before the new guy left, he goes, look, you're going to want to never put grease down there. I'm like, thanks. We got that part. And he goes, and this solvent worked really well, but I had to use a whole bottle. And so you had a lot of grease there. So you're going to need to keep up with this and put a little solvent down there every so often. So I happen to have a new bottle in my truck that I will sell to you. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I saw them online. I was about to buy one at Home Depot. I actually had purchased one at Home Depot, and I was going to pick it up after the Phillies game that night. And he goes, show me what you ordered. So I put up on my phone. He goes, you don't want that. That's not organic. That's chemicals. I'm like, yeah.
It's all chemicals.
You need chemicals. What do you get dissolving grease with orange juice? You need chemicals. It's ridiculous. He goes, no, my stuff's the stuff we make is organic.
Oh,
and it's got blah, blah, blah.
Free
and
range.
Of course,
yeah.
All my wife has to hear is the word organic. And she's like, oh, we should do that. It's organic. Because he goes, you have well water. And if you don't want chemicals getting into your ground, and then you're drinking the chemicals. I'm like, first of all, the well goes real far deep. Anything that goes in our ground ain't getting there all the way to our well. And we have a filter. Every well's got a filter. I mean, so it's not like this stuff's going to come in. So, of course, we bought the bottle. You know how much that bottle costs? How much that bottle of solvent cost? What do you think?
$200.
$75. $200.
Oh, I was going to say $5,000.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
You guys suck at this game.
$75.
75 for a bottle that I was going to
get.
For a bottle I was going to get for 20 at Home Depot.
Oh, well,
whatever. But I bought it because you know what? It worked. I saw it work.
I told you so. Waiting to happen.
Yeah.
When you start growing a sixth finger or something, it's not worth it.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, the story doesn't end there. So by the way, this cost me a fortune, as you can imagine. I had to pay the first guy for his 7 hours, and I had to pay this guy. He was there an hour and a half. And I had to pay him, and it was ridiculous. And so the next day, right, we're finally feeling good. We're like, okay, great. It's all clear. Everything. We can use our bathroom. I go up to use the bathroom. I sit on the toilet, and the thing wobbles like crazy.
Oh, no.
It just comes up. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this dude didn't put the toilet in right. So what do you do? This was Saturday. I did. I texted him, but I felt awful about it. But I shouldn't feel awful about it because he didn't do it right. But I texted him, I'm like, hey, I hate to bother you on the weekend, but this toilet is not in right. I almost flipped the lid off the thing when I sat down. I mean, it was that bad. It was like a seesaw. It was practically a seesaw. I'm like, this is, and he doesn't write me back. Never writes me back. And finally, Monday morning, he writes me back. Because I was going to text him again. I'm like, should I text him again? I don't want to bother, but I also don't want to go to the company and go, this guy didn't do it right, because I liked him.
He's been there.
He helped me out. So I texted him again, and then he came out and he goes, oh, I didn't tighten it up enough. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Did you tip him for that trip, or was that
No, not the second time. That was his own doing.
But you tipped him the first time?
Yes, I did. I tipped him nicely the first time.
Well, so this begs the question.
Yeah.
Did you tip him with cash or with pound cake?
I tipped him with cash, but I did offer him.
We had a whole episode about how you tip with Diet Coke and pound cake, and you have no cash. So
Lisa
you had cash around.
Listen, I did my usual. I offered drink and food. Always offer drink and food to both of them. Neither one of them wanted it. And we felt like this guy was going above and beyond, talking to the guy, staying late, give me his cell. We felt like let's tip him. So Lisa had cash in her purse. That's what we tipped him with. Not my cash. I don't have cash.
Couple bucks.
Yeah, we gave him a few shekels, and he was pretty happy. And
what's the wipe situation now?
The wipes are gone, but I have to tell you, I got the bidet. I installed it myself. It is it's a game changer.
It's a new world.
It's the greatest.
It's awesome. Oh my God, fantastic. Yeah, everyone should get one. You're primitive with just paper. I feel like a caveman with just paper.
Yeah, you can't go back with that. Well, that's quite a story. That's, if people knew us in real life, that would be a dinner conversation between drinks and getting food. Probably that would be a typical conversation we would have.
But a hellish few days, by the way.
I'm so sorry you went through it. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
You survived, and on the
I
other side.
survived. I
That's
survived.
great. All
Yes.
right. Well, you ready for my topic?
Yes.
This week? I'm going to go with my first topic I was going to do. So I have a situation too, and this one is a question that I want to know what kind of person you guys are. How would you handle this situation? I'll tell you what I did. So I was in my hometown and visiting my parents, who are in their 80s, roughly. I think my mom is not 80 yet, but let's say rounded around to the 80s. And we had a free evening, and I thought, so we never do this. I thought, why don't we go see a movie? They would never do that on their own at this point, but I would drive them and take them and get the tickets. And
so in a theater, in a
movie theater, yep. And I thought that'd be something to do for the evening. And then once you know, Elvis is playing, and I thought, what a perfect movie for them to see. They grew up, with Elvis. Now I didn't realize it was a 2.5 hour movie, which was a little bit long.
Every movie's 2.5 hours these days.
Well, no,
doesn't it seem like that? There's no 90-minute movies anymore.
Some of the independent scary ones, I think you'll see probably, but I wasn't going to take them to that. But yeah, the Elvis one was a good. I mean, it was almost a minute for minute actual recreation of Elvis's life. It felt like it took a long, long time.
Oh,
but
were they Elvis fans?
Oh yeah, I mean they were like,
okay.
At the end we were like, remember that.
Okay.
I mean, they did. I can't say that they were into rock and roll. That wasn't their. But my mom particularly remembered, the old Elvis, and not her dad, my grandpa, not wanting her to watch him on TV, and
because he moved his hips.
He moves his hips. But we get to the theater and we sit down, and the lights are on, right? Not the lights the dim lights, but like
the house lights.
The house lights, right?
Yeah,
where they're, the kids come in and clean the theater. And so I'm like, well, this isn't probably good. So we're sitting, we're waiting. Then all of a sudden, then the the commercials are going, and the lights are still on, and then the trailers start, and the house lights are still on.
Full bright.
Like you can see the screen, but barely, right? It's like maybe 30% visible. So I'm looking around, and there's probably 20 other people in the theater.
So it's pretty empty.
Not one of these big theaters. It's kind of smaller, but there's probably 20 people in there, 20 to 30. And so the trailers are going, and I'm thinking, I don't think they know the lights are on. Because I don't think there's a real person in the projector room anymore, right? It's probably all computerized, right? So
and they're probably understaffed like everywhere else.
Well,
like that.
Yes, well, that's what I'll get to, right?
Yeah.
So first trailer goes, second trailer goes, and I think, this is not good. Like I take my parents. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a hero. Right?
Was there chatter, by the way, amongst the other 20? Could you hear anyone?
No, no one seemed to care.
No one cared.
So I thought I'm going. So I went out of the theater.
That's Midwest for you, by the way. That would last all of 20 seconds of the first trailer in Philly before shit would hit the fan.
Exactly. Sodas against the screen and stuff. Yeah.
The Midwest, they go, oh yeah, it must be part of the show.
No, well, maybe, because that's what was happening. So I walk out, and I think, as soon as I walk out, the lights are going to go on, the movie's going to start. I'll come back, and I'll look like an idiot. But so as I'm walking, down the aisle past theater 7, 6, 5, to get to I'm seeing nobody, and I get to the lobby, and there's one person working the popcorn stand, and they have a line of 4 or 5 people. And then there's someone taking tickets, and they have a line of people that's there too. So I have no one. I'm looking around and trying to find anybody who I can talk to.
There was no one selling tickets? Did they have a ticket booth where you could buy tickets?
They did, but they had people there. And so I walked up. That's who I went to, and I sort of hovered, and they did not look my way. And so they kept having people come, and I was like, let's spend 5 minutes now. Let's sure the lights are on. So I walk all the way back, plus 1 to 2 to 3 to 4.
Oh, my God.
Get to 7. I go in. Lights are still on. Lights are still on. So then I think, all right. So now everyone's looking at me like, what's the deal? Like, and I said, well, why am I responsible for this now?
Oh, everyone knew you left the theater to do that.
Well, they we all looked at me. I sat down and said, I don't know. I can't get a hold of anybody. And I sort of look around again. Everyone's looking like, what's going on? Yeah. So then I think, well, what do I do now? Do I say like, listen, I tried. It's someone else's turn to try. I'm sitting here, and I'm gonna try and watch this movie at 30% sort of visibility, but no one gets up again, and so then I get up and I go out again, and I finally get to the ticket person. I said, or no, I guess I went to the popcorn person. I said, hey, the house lights are still on the theater, and they're like, oh, and so then they leave the thing, and the people that were all standing in line, he comes over, flips a switch somewhere that I probably could have done myself.
Right. Yeah.
And then the movie starts, but no one clapped. Nobody said thank you.
No one gave you any recognition.
Nothing. So my question to you is, who are you in that situation? Are you the person that gets up first? Do you wait for someone to go? Like, would you?
No, I get up.
Pause? You'd be a get-upper?
Get up.
100%. 100%. I'm that guy.
At what point would you have done that, you think?
Well, I don't think I would be immediate. If the first trailer came on and the house lights, I'd be like, all right, I don't feel like getting up. Maybe someone else will do it. But if the first trailer went and it was like 4 or 5 minutes in and no one was moving.
Hold on. Are we in this scenario? Are we with our parents?
It doesn't matter who you're with.
Of course it matters. If I'm with like a date or something, I'm leaving. Screw that.
What do you mean you're leaving? You're not going to watch the movie?
Correct.
What do you mean correct? You just paid for the tickets.
It wasn't meant to be. I go to another theater, or I just leave and go get a drink somewhere.
Meant to be.
Would you leave your date there? Just leave her.
What?
Would you leave your date there too? Because let's
get out of here. It wasn't meant to be.
What do you mean meant to be? There's no meant to be with.
Of course.
With there's meant to be with illness and sickness and fortune and fame. No. Not with a movie.
This is another one of your problems. I'm a fatalist. Okay, things are meant to happen the way they are meant to happen.
No, they're not.
Being in a movie theater, if there's a poor quality screen after a couple of trailers,
you're out.
It wasn't meant to be. We'll go somewhere else.
That doesn't make any sense.
If I'm with my parents though, and I'm stuck there, so to speak, it's different. Then I would deal with it. I would.
Why isn't it meant to be then?
Because my parents, I'm stuck. My parents can't move around very well.
Okay, so it's not about being meant to be. It's about convenience.
It's about your options. If you're with someone who
that's very different than meant to be.
Well, no wait. If I get my parents,
what are you talking about?
If I get my parents somehow into a movie theater, they're not moving for a long time. All right, it is a chore, right?
Yeah.
So it is. I'm stuck there with them. I can't.
Right, but if the lights don't go off, it's meant to be. You're gonna have to watch it in the light.
Lights don't go off. It's meant to be.
That's what you said. You said it's meant to be, so we should leave. Not even.
I think you're saying that's bad karma or something. That the lights are still on, and
I'm saying if I'm by myself or someone who is able-bodied, I leave the theater.
Why? All you have to do is leaving the theater is the same exact action as going to someone outside the theater.
No one knows about this magic switch that David just referred to, okay? I don't know about the switch. Who knows about the switch?
I do now.
The people who work at the damn theater know about the switch.
Yeah, you got to be a change agent sometimes, right? You can't just
I agree.
Be a fatalist.
I would wait to see if someone does it. I wouldn't immediately be like, oh my God, what's going on? I would look and go, all right, is someone going to solve this? And then I wait, like, no one's solving this. And then I'd get up and go and do it.
Yeah, I was actually kind of proud of myself.
You should
all these other idiots that were in the theater, and I thought, you
should be.
None of you were going to get up and go. That's kind of like, the social experiments they do where they tell you to they leave you in a room and they see who's going to like take the dollar, and they tell you not to steal or they're
it's like that John
people.
Quinones. What would you do? You ever see that on ABC or whatever the hell that is on one of those network shows?
Oh goodness, a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but they put them in scenarios where they had actors like beating their kids, and they would see who would get involved in that and help the kid.
Yeah, I always think when I would see those, I would think, I'd try to do the right thing, right?
You like to think you would, yeah.
I think, and so I thought this was like I wish it was a social experiment. They would have stopped everyone like, oh, congratulations, you passed.
Right.
You're a good person for not sitting still. But I was surprised no one else did anything. I wondered if if no one had got up, would we have just lasted 30 minutes, 60, like the 2.5 hours for this movie with the lights?
Were your parents complaining? Were your parents like, this is awful? I can't see anything.
Hard to say. I think.
Hard to say.
I think they were kind of like it was meant to be.
See,
there are people who just don't want confrontation. They just don't want it. But I don't view that. I don't want confrontation a lot of times either. But I don't view that as confrontation. I would chalk that up to, hey, they're understaffed. Someone forgot to do that, or someone forgot to turn the lights down. That was their responsibility. So you just have to remind them, hey, would you mind turning the lights down?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I do not avoid confrontation. I think I've noticed that over time, that if there's a situation today, even I was at a stop sign, 2 cars were on the corner from me, and 1 car went, it was my turn. The second car went, and I jammed right in front of him.
Yeah,
and
I'll do that
him
too.
Slam on
Yeah,
the
I do
brake,
that too.
because I was like, this is my turn.
Right.
Yeah, I think I have a controversial trigger in me that's quicker than others. Maybe I need to explore that a little bit, but
this wasn't like someone was wronging you guys. This was just someone forgot to do something they should have done, and therefore they're ruining your experience. So let's correct it.
I wouldn't stand for it. Yeah.
You didn't.
I just think it's interesting. Everything Omar does is fascinating to me, though. So you just get up and leave. Like
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't figure that out.
It's not crazy. I'm calculating the ROI, the upside downside analysis.
You're not. Okay. You're not calculating it, because the fix is incredibly simple. The same actions you took to leave are the same actions you take to just tell somebody, hey, the lights are on. And if they can't correct it, if they're like, oh, sorry, that's broken, or it's not my job, then you can leave.
Hold on. I want to see if there's some hidden genius in this. Now, if you would leave with your date in this scenario, do you think that impresses her? Like,
no.
Oh, this is a man of action here.
I think she thinks this guy's an asshole.
It depends on how you message it, right? To me, it's an adventure.
No, it's not. She probably wants to see the movie. When you go see a movie, you're like, oh, I really want to see that movie. And then you're not getting what you.
I don't know about that. I think often dates on movies are kind of like getting a cup of coffee. It's arbitrary. You know what I mean? It's just something to do.
No.
I don't know what to think about that. That's an interesting comment.
No. This is ridiculous. Listen, this might be a reason why you're
still
sitting
single?
there. Yes, it very well could be a reason, because could you imagine taking someone to a show or to a movie or whatever, and you'd be like, you know what? I don't like where this is going.
Let's go. Yeah.
We're out of here. You're like, what are you talking about? We're out of here.
If it's like Top Gun or like a blockbuster, sure. But if it's
it doesn't matter what it is. You consciously made a decision to go see it. You paid money. You drove there. You put forth effort to go to enjoy that experience, and now it's being ripped away from you, and you just decide, oh well.
I don't know. In my world, I want Omar to be like, lights are still on, I'm out of here, let's go. I think that's how I find Omar to
it's a phony baller move.
Well, I do think the ROI calculation is flawed, because I think it was very little cost and very high upside. I got to see the movie I paid for. So
right. And what's amazing to me, Dave, is the fact that you went back and then had to go again.
I had to go.
Yeah, I would have just. Yeah, I would. Yeah, you just tap on the glass of that little booth there and go like, "Hey, the lights are on."
I went twice.
I
didn't say let it be. I made it happen.
And, Omar's halfway through his Raisinets, and now he's got to get rid of them.
Well, that was So it sounds like you would have done something eventually, Josh.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing.
Man, it's not A or B. Omar picks C. I find that.
Yeah, well, that's what he does.
Yeah. All right.
That's what he's known for.
Mr.
It's
C.
it's the bubble I live in.
Yes.
You ready with your topic?
Yeah, I am. So there was a couple of choices on this. I was in Europe for a few weeks, and I went to dinner with a work colleague friend of mine and his wife at a restaurant that you guys might know of, actually, called Park Chinois.
What, the restaurant?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Park Chinois.
No,
I don't know. You said New York or in Europe?
London.
London. No, never heard of it.
So anyway, it's a restaurant that has like live music. Chinese restaurant, very fancy. Blah 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 blah. And this guy lives in London with his wife. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I go to dinner with my friend Sophia, and we got there a little late, maybe a couple minutes late. They live in London, this guy and his wife.
Yeah, you said that.
They're sitting in the prime seats of the restaurant, so they can see the band. We have our backs to the entire restaurant and the band.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Always give the visitors the best seats. So the whole dinner, I'm annoyed.
Did you leave?
I have a few questions for you.
Is I waited for him to get up and leave, go to the bathroom. When
no.
he went to the bathroom, I took a seat.
No,
Did
you
you
didn't.
switch? Did
Yeah.
you switcheroo?
Did you switch all the silverware and the plates and everything too when
Nope.
you did that?
Nope.
You just ate his meal?
I grabbed my. It was like yeah. It was an. It was. I didn't even think about that, but no. I grabbed my fork and my knife. I guess yeah.
So you
And he
did
sat-
take the
and
silverware.
He got back and he sat across and he was stewing.
Did he say anything?
No, but then I did one of my favorite things ever.
What kind of friend is this?
My insincere gestures. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want this seat? Are you sure? Right?
Yeah, you're an asshole.
Yeah, good move.
Well, am I the asshole?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Look,
Because I think the home team gives the visitors the best seats. I'm not in this environment very often. He lives in London.
yeah.
I live in freaking Puerto Rico. I don't get to see this.
yeah, it's not the point. First of all, you're not seeing anything that's London-esque. Number one, it's not like you're seeing the
it's
changing
whole
of the
vibe.
guard.
It's all the Arabs that
Who set up the dinner?
We did.
You
Who's we? Who's
Me,
we?
Sophia.
So
Okay,
they were
did.
the guests.
So you did.
Yeah. And listen, by the way, there's a lot more to see. This is the band. There's all the Arabs, none of which have had a job their entire lives, and you act like they're somebody important, right?
I don't
It's
know
all
what
the
you're
Russians.
disparaging these people.
It's the same thing, right?
No, you're disparaging a lot of people because
Yeah.
of your anger issues.
No, but it's all true. Listen to me. 80% of the
Okay.
Arabs in London don't have jobs. Okay.
Well, they're incredibly wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They buy
my
property
point
in
is,
London. Yes.
because of what's in the ground.
Yes.
By
Yes.
the way, that's probably the same thing that's been clogging your plumbing in your house. Gosh.
But that's an interesting. They were the guests, even though you were not
Yes.
from London. Hmm.
Yes.
If I was a guest,
Had they ever been there before?
Yeah.
Have you ever been there before?
Yeah, but they didn't know that.
Okay, but did you know they had been there before?
No, but it's about the
Oh,
vibe of
well,
London.
Hold on a second. Now look.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring you back to something that you
Mhm.
said to lead this off that I think is the key to all this, which I think is the reason why you said it, maybe subconsciously.
Mm.
You were late. You were late.
Yeah.
You showed up late. You lose. They get to sit down wherever the hell they want. That's how it works.
David, do you agree with this?
I think he's saying, "I told you so."
Yeah.
'Cause You've been late. You've been late before.
Well done, Dave. Good callback.
But if the roles were reversed, right? I always offer the better seat.
Okay.
Always.
You're a gentleman. This guy might have been a little perturbed. Oh, Omar, he's late. Where the hell is he?
Wait. So you're saying he's not a gentleman?
I don't know if he is or isn't. What I'm saying is, if you were having dinner with them and they
Mhm.
showed up late,
Yeah.
and you purposely took the bad seats, I applaud that. That's a very a nice gesture. But that's not how this went down.
Actually, you want to know what? I actually, if I was really a man of honor,
Yeah.
I would have given Sophia his seat.
Yes.
Yes.
also true.
Yes.
And actually, I
yes,
think
that's a
that's what I
gentlemanly
should
thing
have
to
done.
do.
Well, when you all
done.
sat
Well
down,
said.
I think you
Well
could have rearranged it, and I would have had the women have the
Yes,
better seats.
correct.
That would have been then. It's
That's what-
everyone's
yeah.
suffering a little bit, and
But-
it's easier for guys to turn around, right?
But tell me, I'm not, you can turn your chair, right?
No.
What do you mean no? You can't turn your chair?
No. And by the way, this restaurant is one of the restaurants where they have like 77 waiters, but the service is terrible. There's waiters everywhere, and nobody ever comes to the table. I don't know what they're doing all day.
That makes
or
no
night.
sense. I've seen that before.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No eye contact.
You know what it is? Because everyone else thinks the other person's going to do it. It's the
Yeah.
opposite problem of Dave's theater.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I kill for that. So how did
you-
this
you-
resolve then? Was
You
there
showed up
anger to
late,
the end?
Omar. You showed up late. You showed up late, and that's the price you have to pay.
Well, it was resolved because we went Dutch, which I usually pay. Number one.
Was he expecting you to pay?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. He did claim that he never brings his wife out to anything. But
Okay.
I think she gets around, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. You're calling her a whore?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. She's actually brilliant. She's brilliant. But yeah, no, I mean it was I thought that the entire dinner was a little bit
Tense.
yeah, I
on the
felt
edge.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he caught your vibe?
Well, I think when I switched seats with him, maybe.
Yeah. And then
That's
you were
what he
very
means.
passive aggressive.
When I pulled the switcheroo.
Yeah, that'll
The
do it.
switcheroo, yeah. How did your colleague appreciate that? You left her stranded. That was that a little
Honestly,
awkward?
I haven't even talked about it with her for some reason.
You'll have to have her listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
See, what you should have done is just gotten there and go, you guys got the good seats. Something like that. You stick it to them right away. And then you see what kind of response you get. Because maybe then they go, oh, you know what? We've been here before. Why don't you take these seats? But you didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
No,
what
I
I
think
would have
you're-
done.
I
I
think
give him a
you're
little
right.
jab, a little friendly yet jab.
I will say though, on this trip to London,
That's a
I
good
just
call.
did not have.
Thank you.
I had a series of
Blunders.
forgettable meals.
Forgettable meals. Yeah, that's the story of your life. Is all
That's his
the
biography.
all the rigatoni that you don't get.
No, I think I'm a picky eater.
No.
And by the way, I did try and see David, and he would not see me. He was hanging out with like 17 men.
So that's not true. I got a call, and all of my week in London, we were there at the same time. My week was planned, and Omar very graciously invited me to go to the Chiltern where you were staying.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Then I looked on the map, and I didn't have a car. Like, it was not close.
The tube.
Car.
Take the tube or a
Yeah,
taxi
but that would have it would have.
or an Uber.
It's not easy. Like, if it was, I could have got there in a few minutes. I would have
Where
certainly
were you
done
staying?
that.
He was in
right by the
Liverpool.
Scotland? Like, where were you staying?
British Museum.
Oh
And
God.
the Chiltern is out of the city limits, isn't it? It was
No.
it's in Mayfair.
It's in Mayfair.
Oh, I
It's
thought it was.
Marylebone.
Yeah,
further
it's in
away.
Mayfair.
Well, maybe I looked at the wrong thing. But
Cool place.
I just couldn't get it. I was thinking, like, I could say, listen, I'm gonna leave you guys. I'll catch up with you later. And I thought they had all this planned for me, so I thought, unless we could kind of get together closer to where I was, it just wasn't going to work out. So, yeah.
Listen, this is a life lesson, Omar.
Yeah, tell me.
That if there's something that you really want to see, you show up early for it. You make the effort. Look, that's how it works. Like, I hate to bring it back to my my weekend fest with my boys, but whoever shows up to the house first gets the first pick of the bedroom,
Yeah.
and whoever's last gets the shit room. That's how it works. You got the shit room.
If you came to visit me somewhere, I would
Yeah.
give you the best seat. Period.
Yes, because I'm coming to visit you, and it's the hospitality of the whole thing. But that's not what this is. This is just friends getting together for dinner. You just happen to be in London. You weren't staying with them,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
You invited them out. They didn't invite
Yeah.
you out. It's not a place where they frequent all the time. It sounds like a very special place that you just go in every once in a while, every blue moon,
Yeah,
a
maybe
special
you know what?
occasion.
Maybe you're right about that. Actually, maybe I'll take back my my angst.
I think I am right.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors in this one. It's not a
lot of
clear cut.
factors.
It's not clear cut. I don't know if I'm somewhere in the middle on this. I think
can't
what should
fault
have
them.
happened is you should have said, clearly these are the better seats. Let's let the ladies sit on that side and we'll sit on this side. I think that's the answer. I'm surprised.
You ever go to a sports bar with a bunch of people? There's always a seat that sucks. Your back's to certain TVs, certain games, and you're like,
Right.
ugh. And then you got to keep turning your head around every 2 seconds to watch what everyone else is watching.
I just leave.
You just bail.
That's not a bad idea.
That's your response to
I
everything.
think that's
Just
what I'm going
bail.
to do from now on too. Is just leave the bad seat. We have to turn the chair, and you have
Let me
nothing
tell you
in front
something,
of you.
Josh. I had dinner one time with David and our friend Tim in St. Louis with that
Yeah.
whack ass cheese pizza place,
Emos.
Emos.
No,
And
no, same people.
that place was horrid, and I wish
Yeah, it's
I went
awful.
to that place.
We gave
It's
you a good
awful.
seat. You got a great seat.
That's a place you leave. That's a place you get up and leave.
I didn't pick that place. It was a sports bar in St. Louis. What do you want?
Who picked that place? Was it?
You know, I went to a sports bar in St.
Louis.
In St. Louis a long time ago with a couple of our colleagues, Dave.
Yeah.
And we ordered pizza. We had no clue that it was that stupid Prevel, that disgusting, gross cheese that they put on there in St. Louis. And we got the whole pie. We ordered a big pie for like 4 of us, and we just gave it to the table next to us.
Did you?
Yeah. I said to the waiter, I said, "Is this Prevel?" Because you can tell immediately when you see it.
It's
like,
hard.
oh yeah, that's how we make our pizza. I'm like, you don't have mozzarella back there? Like, no, that's our pizza. I'm like, we don't want this.
Oh, they wouldn't even make it with mozzarella? They had it.
They didn't even have it. They didn't have mozzarella.
Yeah,
I asked if they had mozzarella.
Yeah, that's the curse of St. Louis right there.
Yeah, we just gave it. We just gave it to the table next to it. Like, you want this pizza?
Well, there are people here who
oven.
love it. Like they
love it.
want to come back home, for that Provel cheese. Yeah,
they love it. But this is what I tell every St. Louis person: if it was that good, it would be outside St. Louis, and it's not. It's not. Nobody wants it.
Well,
Anyway,
I think we should let Omar go to bed. He's hacking up a lung here, and but
we powered through. You guys powered through. I'm proud of both of you.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't get up and leave, but he stuck through it. But
what we learned here, Dave? What we learned is when he's healthy is when he gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
And when he's sick, he just decides I'm going nowhere.
That's right. Well, hey, we said we would tease something. We'll come back and do our story for Norway. I don't have one prepped.
No.
But we'll do a different story this time. Very soon on Podcast Magazine is an article about us, FTS Friends Coffee Shop Podcast. We were interviewed by the editor who does like comedy and like woodworking or something. It's it's like comedy and travel.
Comedy and I think murder mystery.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that's right. Yeah,
No,
Ken.
Actually,
his name is Ken.
I think he's a plumber, right?
No, he's not. Yeah, he does a jetter.
He does jetters.
Yeah, and he wrote a. So I'm sure it's. Well, I hope we can buy it in like physical form because I'd like.
Yeah,
to
it comes in physical print. Yeah,
but I'm sure you can look it up on
online.
The November issue of Podcast Magazine. There is a whole spread on our podcast.
It's a 4-page spread on the 3 of us. Can't beat that.
It's awesome. So we
Check it
saw
out.
a draft, and we'll look forward to maybe talking about that in a future episode. But on behalf of all of us, oh look, we have a visitor.
Oh, we got a visitor.
Just as we're jumping off. So
yes.
Until next time, that was episode 30. It's been a good run of 30 episodes, guys. Until next time.
It has.
Love you later.
See ya
later.